Every normal man must be tempted at times to spit upon his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin slitting throats. I know it sounds pretty gruesome. However, this is what the captain of my company when I served in the United States Infantry used to say to us before we entered into training events and shoot houses. Undoubtedly, this captain was the greatest leader I have ever had the opportunity to serve under. And still to this day, we keep in touch. One of the things that separates him from other individuals was his ability to motivate, and the way he motivated was through his ability to captivate his listeners when giving speeches. From his stories of firefights in Afghanistan to nightclubs in Paris, his sense of camaraderie and adventure intrigued us all. This said, it was because of his motivation that my company and I were able to stay sane on one very cold night in January. Poland is a beautiful country, but in the wintertime it can get brutally cold. Still today, I wonder whose decision from higher echelons of the military it was to keep us outside in the cold for a training event. To put in perspective, the military is constantly training. There are two mottos in which the Army follows. One is "This will defend," and two, "Fit to fight." These are both a code that the military lives and breathes daily. On this night specifically, we were performing a training event that involved us spending 48 hours in the brutal cold. Our mission was to enter into a small Poland village and set up a defensive perimeter, surrounding the village in order to deter Atropian aggression, which was the opposing force we were fighting against. To our surprise, the Atropian forces never engaged us, and instead we were just left shivering in the cold. Now, as I mentioned before, Poland is a very cold place. When I'm saying this, I want you guys to imagine how cold it really is. Now, as you're imagining the cold, take into consideration it was also extremely wet outside from a mixture of both rain and hail that fell on us all night long. This combination of both rain and cold led to what was one of the many long nights my buddies and I endured while serving in the United States military. Throughout the night, everyone got extraordinarily little sleep, and while we did have a small tent with a potbelly that ran on fuel, halfway through the night, we ran out. In turn, the only thing the potbelly did was melt the ground which we were sleeping on. This resulted in the tent becoming not only cold, but muddy. Unfortunately, the mud made many of our sleeping bags soaking wet. While many people will testify that soldiers rely on nicotine and energy drinks, which is true, it is truer that we rely on each other. Had my buddies not been there, and had jokes not been told, which created laughter, which in turn gave some relief from the cold, then I do believe that somebody would have gotten extremely hurt. In conclusion, a strong leader can guide a team through anything. Misery likes company, and Poland is a very cold place. My friends and I often think back to that night and make jokes as to how cold it really was. At the time, we did not know how we were going to get through it, but we did. So the last point I would like to make is whether it is a workout at the gym, a breakup, or a class you are struggling with, you will get through it. Thank you.